Ladies and gentlemen, the Rum and Regret podcast is back tonight with rum and good friends. I'm Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
We drink and we know things, and we have a very, very special guest tonight.
Very.
Jamie Drake.
My wife.
Woo!
Because she knows stuff.
Welcome.
And tonight, we are talking about something very near and dear to our hearts. We have all read or have been read to by the Wheaton. Ready Player One. And as most of the people that would listen to this podcast know, they're making a movie about it. And Spielberg's making the movie. And we're talking about our expectations for the film, what we need to see from the book, what we'd like to see from the book, and maybe what sort of wouldn't, if it were to go or get changed, what wouldn't mind. So, Joe, would you like to start? What would you like to see? What do you have to see in the movie?
What do I have to see? I have to see the distracted globe. That was a big thing in the book that I was just like, I can't wait. And neo-noir. I really hope that they do a nice little pan shot of the planet and get into that, because that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I've thought a lot about this, and I know that this is such a hard movie to make because of all the licensing, and I know there's a lot of stuff that is not going to be able to be in it, and I'm kind of hoping they just stick to like the true heart of the film, and have the 3 gates and the keys and obviously all that.
And so when I thought about it too, my whole thing was we really need to sort of whittle down to the story and what the story is, and it's a rags to riches story of the literal underdog, gaining an up on the man.
Yeah. Good versus evil.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, right. References, obvious nerd references aside, what are we going to, are we really going to be upset if they change one reference to another if it happens to be a little more topical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's...
Big surprise, I'm going to be upset. Sorry, continue, Joe.
Yeah.
I'll get into that later.
I don't know, as long as it's, they don't change things too drastically where it's,
right.
Well, and
there's not a gate and a key and, whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, I think I think the story goes deeper than that. Halliday wanted someone that was like-minded, someone who had the same values he did. That's why he put all of those clues, the kinds of clues he put out. He made it so that someone like him would find the egg and hopefully do something good with the inheritance.
Right, and if that's intact, I'll be happy.
I think that part of it will be.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will, but it's just how they get to that. Nate, what do you need to see in the movie?
Yeah, I don't know, man. So I've read the book several times. I've done the audiobook several times. I just did a power audiobook marathon over the last 48 hours. So you already said it. It's really hard to do this movie justice in a normal runtime. I would much prefer to see it on Netflix or something like that, where it's a 10 to 12 hour kind of epic, sweeping tale that sticks to the book. But the thing you have to remember is they're not making this movie for the people that love Ready Player One. They're making it for the masses and to make money. So my expectations have to be incredibly tempered, because obviously we're not going to see, Dungeons and Dragons, and there probably won't be the Lich battle at the beginning with... Spoiler alert!
Breaks my heart.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
There won't be the battle with the Lich, and we're not going to go through this amazing discovery of the Tomb of Horrors, which was just one of the hooks that completely... I mean, when you're reading the book for the first time, you're like, this is pretty cool. I love the world. And then they brought up D&D, and I'm like, okay, take me on yours.
Right.
And just growing up playing D&D, and I've played the Tomb of Horrors module before, and man, so that's one of the things I really wanted to see, and I don't see any way that they can keep that in the movie, because they're making it for a more contemporary audience. So
Well, they're just making it for a larger audience,
Yeah.
and you put D&D in there, and that's a tough sell.
yeah,
I'm with you,
You know.
Nate. That's the
Yeah.
scene that I want, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be. I already
I
know I'm
would-
gonna be sad.
Well, and that's and so we'll I mean that's where we talk about the first gate, all right? So and I think that's a big sticking point for everybody here,
Yeah.
right?
I don't
So-
think that's as tough a sell for me as because I mean D&D is kind of people know about D&D and it's not as obscure as some of the other references in the book,
especially
like
in the
Well,
last
things
couple
like
years.
Zork and Tempest and
Right.
you know games that have been, you know, that I haven't even played, and I'm a
Yeah.
38-year-old woman.
Right.
Like you know, kids
Yeah.
today are going to be like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Yeah, and so that's the thing too is that you know making that first gate a D&D reference, you know, it really talks about how much research you had to do to get there.
Exactly.
You know, and so if like if I can get rid of if you're gonna take D&D out of it,
Right.
okay, what does the first gate need to have? And the first gate needs to have something that only Wade can figure out.
Right.
You know, or obviously something that Artemis found out first, and then Wade put it together.
the other thing I really liked about it is, I don't want to spoil. I
No,
want
go
to
ahead.
Book. Okay.
Yeah, we can spoil.
So okay.
Spoiler
So
alert: we are going to ruin plot points from the book.
I loved the fact that the first key was on the school world.
Right.
Mhm.
On Ludus,
That
yeah.
Ludus, yeah.
Yep.
I love that basically only a student would probably figure it out. I think that's,
Yeah.
again, what Halliday wanted. He wanted a kid to find it. He
Who
wanted
has a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Students.
Yeah.
Students.
High school
and where it was
students.
safe for
Exactly.
someone like Wade could go. He had no money, so
No
he
PvP
was
zone,
able.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wanted. I love that he set that up. That he had it on Ludus, and that
I agree with that. And then, kind of speaking to your point, Andy, I'm fine. I mean, obviously they're going to change it, and I would be. I think it would be more appropriate if they had maybe the same milestones, like the mini adventure we went through with Wade to get to that first gate
Right.
or the first key. Excuse me. Because there was the aha moment, the moment of discovery, like unearthing the entrance, and
Right.
then this whole build up, and then this giant mini boss almost,
Yeah.
and then the crazy left turn where it was a joust game,
which made it so funny.
Yeah.
And that would have been a fun comedic
Yeah, exactly.
point in the book, in the movie. I mean,
right?
but if they don't have the first key on Ludus, I do feel like it takes away some of the point of the story.
And they might still do that, but and my point being is that okay, D&D aside, if you have those plot points where there's like a moment of discovery, it's him, the integrity of why it's there and that kind of thing and how they get there. If that's intact, fine, but
yes, I
they're going to
agree.
have a giant car race potentially. I mean, we don't even know if that's what it is.
No,
And,
but-
and in the
right.
trailer, it showed that they played a live action version of Joust, so maybe they're just gonna like make it a little more like
Maybe.
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
face kind
Yeah.
of.
Well, I
movie
mean, yeah.
speed.
If it's, I mean, obviously, two guys hunched over an arcade
It's might be boring.
isn't very exciting. But if you give me a VR version of Joust,
If they're
Oh,
actually
yeah.
on the ostrich
Yeah.
and the stalk.
oh, I'm all for it.
When we were watching the YouTube and you were gone,
Uh-huh.
it showed one of the scenes was actually they were in the Joust
Okay,
game.
if that happens, that's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know that's cool.
It
And
might
and
just
so
spruce it up a little.
right, yeah. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's what I want out of the first gate. Is Wade needs to have his his aha moment where I figured this out, no one else did.
Well, and I like the twist that Artemis had actually been trying for 5 weeks. or
Right.
whatever.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that he actually wasn't, and I loved that.
Yes, I love that
On
too.
your first try?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I really hope she's the counterpoint to him that she was in the books.
yeah.
too.
Because she is a badass in her own right, and if they make her anything less than that, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Well,
Right,
I think they
yeah.
might hint to that because the commercial or the trailer, "Welcome to Rebellion, Wade."
Right.
This is
Yeah.
like she's already been involved
Right,
in it.
Right. Yeah. Honey, what do you need to see out of the?
Oh, well, I agree with Nate. I want to see that lich.
Yeah.
I loved the dungeon. That's my favorite. Like, I'm
Yeah.
rereading the book right now. I haven't finished. And that, even though it's the beginning of the book, that scene is what I remember the most about the book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know it's not gonna be the way it's in the book, so it'll make me sad. But I'm preparing myself for it to not be in the movie. So
Can I have a second? thing
Yeah,
that I kinda wanna-
absolutely.
Okay.
Please.
So, the biggest turn in the third act when Wade indentures himself to IOI and gets taken in and basically matrixed as a worker just so he can spend 8 days hacking into the system so that Johnny Five can drop a nuke on the wizard with the force field at the end of the movie. Just beyond brilliant writing. I love the way it all connected, and that's going to be a really hard sell.
I don't think so. That is my favorite, because when that happened in the book, I was like, what the
fuck is going on?
And then afterwards,
yeah.
it's
And
like,
Johnny
really?
Five is amazing.
Yeah,
They better
no.
put him in the movie.
And I think like that, and that's the thing with the trailers, is that you can share only so much, because you want those, oh my god, that's so cool moment, right? And you can't share that in the trailer, right?
Yes.
And and that was like one of the big issues with one of the many issues with Batman versus Superman, is you put Doomsday in the goddamn trailer.
Or Thor Ragnarok, when the Hulk is the one that he has to fight in the arena. Like, how cool would that moment have been if they didn't show it in the trailer? Like,
Well,
oh my God.
but after the Dark World,
Yeah.
you need something fun. So I know why they they had to bring it back.
And that's my favorite line.
Right.
I know him from work.
Did you know that wasn't actually in the
Yeah, it
movie?
was improv.
Yeah.
It was so
Well, there was a
kid. You're
Yeah.
A
right.
kid on set, and
Right.
he's the one that
Yes.
said it.
The director's kid,
It was
right?
like
Yeah.
Make a Wish or whatever.
Oh, no, it was the Make-A-Wish kid, that's right,
Yes.
Yeah, it was
I
brilliant.
know, it's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's the best
So,
line in the movie.
but-
I know him from work.
Yeah. But no, absolutely. That IOI sequence, it needs to happen.
Yeah.
I think it absolutely needs to happen, and because there's, it's such a pivotal part of the books. But yeah, the little sort of pop culture references that we're not getting from the trailer, I think are going to be some of the big sells from the movie itself.
Yeah,
You know?
I hope so.
Yeah, if Johnny Five delivers it.
Well, there's a lot of great '80s references that we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then I know we noticed there's some '90s reference, and obviously it's for the people who grew up in the
Right.
'90s.
Yeah.
You know,
And
they
even
need to
like
sell
now.
to a broader audience, not just us old people.
Like, I was
No,
shocked
that's-
in the trailer when I saw Tracer from
Yeah.
Overwatch. I'm like,
Right.
that game just came out, like, you know,
Yeah.
a few years
Yeah.
ago. Like,
Well, but
or last year. How's that too?
Something like that.
Well, but again, you got to figure something as advanced as the Oasis.
Yeah, they're gonna have.
You know,
It's just the
Yeah,
hol-
yeah,
it's
can't
It's just a quick update. Yeah,
right? You know, yeah, can't just be Blade Runner, Star Wars, and Back to the Future
Yeah.
references.
Well, and all that 80s
Yes, it
stuff.
can.
Well, and all the '80s stuff is just Halliday and the Gunters. Everybody
Yeah.
else in the Oasis is probably doing all the more modern
bleeding
things. So
edge.
it
Yeah.
makes sense that that's in there.
Kids who don't even deserve to be there. Kids.
Fucking millennials. Sorry. I said it all.
Oh!
For all of our millennial fans.
Yes. Yeah.
I really meant that.
Yeah, one of the things I know, I just know they're not gonna do it, but I'm really bummed that they're not gonna do it. Is the whole sequence with him moving into his a super awesome apartment
Right.
and
Yeah.
kind of going through this is my
This is a
super
workout
awesome
regimen.
yeah,
Right,
and this is
yeah.
my big haptic chair and max
Yeah.
headroom.
Oh, wouldn't it be funny if they made an '80s montage?
He did the
Oh
sex
my
doll
God.
thing. And he's like,
Okay,
finally I sold it because it's basically masturbation.
Yeah. Okay, all that aside from the
Forgot
sex doll
about that.
and
Oh,
masturbation
yeah,
part.
you can't put that.
But it's like I would love to see that on the screen of him getting out of his rig and doing
Right.
his exercises.
80s montage.
The fact that he's like bald
It's a
and
great 80s montage.
like
Yeah.
a little mole rat, pretty much, just never going. Out
I
of
would
his
love
house.
the movie if they 80s montage that shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I have a feeling that some of that will be there. I mean, there absolutely has to be a montage at some point
They better do.
where there's
And they probably seem to be perfect. for
no,
that.
yeah, where there's
You're the best around playing in the
No, absolutely.
training like Dennis.
yeah.
But the
Yeah.
actor is not. He already looks good. It's
Well,
in the book
but
he's
we
dumpy
need to
and he's
talk
got
about that.
acne.
Okay.
and-
All right, and
They
that's
could have made him a little chubby.
Good transition. Let's talk
right.
about
Yeah.
that.
So of all the things that you could sort of deal without in the movie, that's actually one of the things I don't need to see. Like,
No, I know,
It
it's
just
not
takes
necessary.
it takes time away from the story.
No, it's true.
Okay. Yeah, he has to get fit.
No, I
Well,
know.
but
I'm okay
no.
with losing it too, but
Yeah, so but not the fitness part though. But talking about that was one of the big things I actually made a note about is the Hollywood sheen they put on the casting and beautifying everything. When
Yes.
it's the story about people who are underdogs and were always picked on because of the way they looked and
yeah, and the way
and
characters
socially
handsome.
awkward and basically people we all were growing up, and that's
Yeah.
one of the things that attracts you to this book and one of the things that locks you in because you identify with that and
Yes.
you understand that struggle, and just to gloss it over for Hollywood and
Yeah,
I know that actor already looks attractive,
Well-
and I just read it in the description of Artemis. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go there. She is described as stocky, and he still thinks she's beautiful.
Oh, all curves.
In
is what they
the
say, yeah.
trailer, her avatar is a waif. She's super skinny.
Yeah, and
And
they
it's
show
like,
her in
oh.
real life, and she's super skinny.
Yeah,
and
super
Right.
skinny.
no
Yeah.
no blemish on
They,
her face.
they could
or
have given.
anything.
No, she had the.
Yeah, no, she has the
face.
stain.
She does.
Yeah,
She does,
she
yeah.
does.
In
Oh,
one of
okay.
the in one of the other,
I didn't see
she
it.
has the port wine stain on
Really,
her.
I saw the hair. Over
No,
on
no,
the-
she has it in her face. One of the trailers that we watched last night
Yeah.
it shows a
good.
better.
Okay, good.
And
She
yeah,
does
she
have
they
it.
Okay.
yeah she looks.
It's a big part of her.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
I don't mind the actress as much. Just I don't know the avatar. And not just that. I don't like the way her avatar looks. I don't know.
I personally don't like the way the avatars look in general.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
but again, you're you're recreating a digital world
Right.
on a budget.
It's gonna be whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
and,
true.
and so I understand the sort of the what they took here.
Apparently, Spielberg is supposed to be had developed completely new technology for this movie, similar to what Cameron did for Avatar. So I'm interested to see what that means,
Right.
and how that'll play itself out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And you had to.
you kind of
'cause-
have to see this movie in 3D, right? Like, it seems like this movie is
Just kinda need
made
to.
for 3D.
I
Yeah.
think so.
How do
Yeah,
you
in the
get
theater
away
that
from
serves alcohol.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
It's no. It is. It's
Shout out to the veranda.
yes.
Sponsor us, please. There you go.
No. This is a movie that definitely needs an experience, and yeah, if it's 3D, if it's IMAX,
3D
if it's,
IMAX.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo.
Real quick, I gotta interject real quick back to the characters and,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
actors
please.
and whatnot. I'm really nervous about age
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm
because
glad.
I have a
She
big,
looks way older. Isn't she supposed to be a kid?
She's
She's
supposed
like
to
Wade's
be
age, I
a
think,
heavy
or-
set
Yeah,
African
the
American
actress
woman.
looks like she's in her 30s.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen.
My
I've
whole
seen
thing
okay.
one
is
or
like
two
that
images
was
from
that
it,
was
yeah.
the biggest
reveal in the
reveal
book.
of
Okay,
They
but
showed in the preview though.
I know
Right.
everyone already knows that it's a girl.
Hold
yeah,
on,
We're not supposed
alright.
to know that.
so they released the character posters, which showed the avatar and the actor,
Right.
Yeah.
right, of everybody. Okay, and so and you guys are probably going to jump on me for this. This
Well,
is
I
another.
am now.
This is another thing I actually don't mind because of Wade's reaction in the book.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wade's reaction, okay,
He freaks out at first, but then he comes around. Yeah.
and if you make a big deal about it, politically, there could be a shitstorm afterwards that you decide to bring this, you know,
Yeah.
that you decide to make her race a deal in the movie. Wade's
Well, her race was never the issue.
What's the fact that
Wade
it's a
was.
woman?
Yeah,
was
Wade
a
was
woman.
shocked that it was a woman.
that was a
Yeah.
woman,
Yeah.
but again, it's a black woman.
Right.
And
Right.
a lesbian.
But if you
Yeah.
watch the trailer,
Uh-huh.
her avatar is not some
No,
white
it,
dude like
no,
the book.
yeah,
it's
it's
orc.
like an yeah, it's an
Yeah,
orc.
He's an orc.
So
I
so
mean,
again,
I'm-
you dodge a bullet by making the avatar an orc, not a
Yes.
white guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? I
And
think
you pay
I-
homage because
I
she
see what
still
you mean.
is
because you absolutely
a
because
black
that
woman.
could be anybody at that
Yeah.
point, right? A white guy, who that's what part of H's thing was. My mother said, you know, to get
Yes.
ahead.
Be the white.
Yeah.
Be the
That's
white-
actually important. I'd be.
That's kind of
that's
yeah,
obvious.
it's kind of
I
an
think
important social
It
comment.
would have
Yeah,
been better
exactly.
if they did put that in the movie because it's the truth.
Yeah.
And anybody could admit that. Like,
Mhm.
you know, you get all into the white privilege stuff and
Yeah.
Anybody that
She-
recognizes white privilege as a thing can admit that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We
you
know
know,
that
you are
60% of the voters. Yeah.
you are taking a very very safe road by changing the avatar, making it
It's true.
it non-specific, and then
They don't want to
making
make any political statements in the movie.
right,
so
yeah,
they
making
not making it a
making the
surprise
gender
that her-
and the race
that
a
she is a
big
black
deal.
woman.
Which is unfortunate because it's
No.
in the book for a reason.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and again, I harken back to Wade's reaction in the book. Said, you know, I don't remember what the exact, but it's like, you know, great to see you.
You're still my best friend.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
still my
Yeah.
best friend.
Yep.
And so that's, like I said, to sort of take that character reveal and not make it a big deal, and just sort of roll with it.
They may
you know?
make it a big deal in the
They
movie.
could.
I don't
They
know.
very- they-
but the fact they showed us kind
Yeah.
of indicates
Right,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, well, and
it doesn't mean the character knows.
No,
you know?
and no, that's true. There probably still will be that, you know, where Spielberg says, "All right, you're just gonna get an aha because
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
this is H now."
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and you
and-
give me a facial expression for a fourth of a second,
Right.
and we're good.
And the actress, I mean, I think they had to reveal her because the actress, you know, they're going to do interviews with her and, you know, before the
Well,
movie.
yeah, and absolutely. But again, this is
it's going to come out.
it's a book to a movie where you know
Yeah.
those those points.
Yeah.
You know, and so again, you know, the sort of the reveals for this movie, or the excitement for the, you know, the really sort of, I don't know, exciting parts of the movie, that is one of those things that you can,
Well,
you
it's
know,
one of the things you have to lose in order to make the movie fit in the time required. You're going
Right.
to lose a lot of the character arcs and development and all of that,
And if
which
you,
is a shame.
if
But
you think about
realistic.
it, the only people who care about her identity being a secret are people who read the book who already know what her identity is.
Right.
So
Yeah.
people who
Right.
have just seen the movie had no idea that,
Right.
you know, that it was this big reveal.
right.
right.
But and
absolutely.
again, it might be a big reveal in the movie. He
Yeah.
might not know that she is a she.
right.
But
yeah.
it does seem like in the trailers that that there's going to be a lot more real world
Right.
scenes in it than
Activity.
the book.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's a
Again,
section I
budget.
saw. Yeah, well, there's a section in the trailer, like part of the final battle. You see a bunch of kids with visors running down the street, and in the Oasis, it's a bunch of Spartans from Halo running together. I'm like, wait, is that?
Yeah.
Because most people are like in a rig or just static, and you're
Yeah,
moving
they're
around.
yeah.
You're
Right.
not actually walking in the real world. You're
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
Things
static
to remind
spot.
the audience that these are people. They're not
Yeah.
just people, but some of them are children. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
So.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, but so overall, what's our excitement level for the movie?
Oh, through the roof.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but I hate to be the bummer here, but I kind of think it might suck. I'm sorry.
It's completely possible.
Sorry.
Not all Spielberg
It
movies
could
are
be
amazing.
great.
Crystal
Oh, well, AI.
AI.
Yeah.
When was
I don't know.
AI?
I liked AI.
Yeah, it was
It was depressing.
I
As hell,
don't remember
but-
it, so that tells you something.
Well, and it's Kubrick to Spielberg.
So I don't know. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, and that it is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I was excited at first, but the more trailers I see, the more my excitement's like.
Yeah.
Well, and that's I think I'm keeping my expectation level at a 6.
Yeah, me too.
I'm so excited to see this movie. I can't wait to see what Spielberg did with it. You know, I definitely think of all the directors out there, they picked the right one to adapt this.
Well, they had to. It's his movie. It's
No.
all of his stuff in it.
And that's the smartest
You
thing.
either have to give
you know,
permission or direct it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Did
It's basically a love letter to
I thought
him.
he was the one that optioned the book. Because it's DreamWorks, right? That's his.
Oh yeah,
company.
you're right.
Maybe. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're
I mean,
absolutely
it's,
right.
the book was a love letter to him.
Yeah, of course
so.
it
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I'm gonna pick this right
That's
up.
going to be out
Yeah.
of control.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
All right. So
Yeah, it's
That
a
was-
homage to all of his old works. So
Right.
if I were him, I'd want to do it too.
yeah.
Yeah, and one other quick thing I've actually read online that kind of made me sit back and take notice was about how this is kind of a way of showing people, hey, this is what happens when net neutrality is axed.
Right.
Yeah,
IOI
great
is
point.
Yeah.
pretty much everybody
Yeah.
who's lobbying to get rid of net neutrality.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's really interesting.
Perfect
Yeah.
timing.
And
Great.
it is such
Yeah.
a realistic. I do like how. I mean, we run out of fossil fuel. What's gonna happen? And
Right.
this is like a realistic future, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And yeah, if we did create something like the Oasis, that's where everybody would be.
Like
Yeah.
like the end of WALL-E.
Right.
Yeah. We
Exactly.
get our little pizzas in a cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do want to say one thing I loved that they changed in the movie is the IOI, the Sixers. They're called the Sixers.
Yeah.
I love, so in the book, they're just basic avatars. So they just look like boring, basic people. And in the movie, they are, I know that sounds, oh, is it an airplane or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come
We
on,
have
guys!
to an airport. We have
It's
four.
alive!
I love that the IOI agents look kind of like robots, and they have the IOI flashing across their face, and it's just they look
I love that
really
too.
cool
Yeah.
and way more like harsh and cold, and I don't know. I really like that
I agree.
Yeah.
change.
Oh, I'm stoked to see Mendelsohn and Sorrento.
Oh, yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah.
And of course,
And Simon Pegg
Simon
is
see
Pegg
Simon
is
Pegg as
awesome.
Ogden
Oh, I love it.
I gotta say, I'm not too excited about Halliday.
I know.
I kind of I imagined him to be a little more like
well,
the guy from Silicon Valley,
Oh, really?
the original owner. What was his name? I can't remember.
Sheldon, maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, or kind of just
Like
a little
that.
more like
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, they were talking. They mentioned in that show, Gene Wilder was originally who they wanted.
Gene Wilder would have been
That would've
perfect.
been so
God.
perfect.
Peter
That's
Gregory.
right.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Peter Gregory
yeah.
from Silicon
Yeah.
Valley.
No, that would have been brilliant.
Okay, so before we wrap this up, I'm going to bring it all the way back to the what do you have to see in this movie? Mechagodzilla, goddammit! I don't think it's going to make it. But
Well, they had Godzilla.
Mm,
He was swinging off of a.
that was King Kong.
Oh yeah. Duh. All right, this is what happens when I
No
drink
more rum for Jamie.
I'm like, as I
But-
said it didn't sound right. I'm like, wait,
But
that's a
Godzilla
dinosaur.
swinging from a
The
building.
Rock
Yeah.
is in a movie called Rampage that has a giant ape and a giant lizard.
Exactly.
Bring it back full circle. There you go.
You got King Kong swinging off a building. Why wouldn't you have Godzilla?
Right.
Godzilla swinging off. Okay, yeah.
So that is the Rum and Regret podcast for Ready Player One. We'd like to thank you for tuning in.
Stay classy, San Francisco,
You
and fuck you.
Jesus Christ.
you only regret the rum you don't drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. Dink.
Clink.
Clink.